Afternoon, welcome to the Derby debrief from RamsTV. Owen Bradley with former Derby County captain Shaun Barker alongside, reflecting on Derby's first defeat of the League One season. The Rams, despite dominating the first half away at Charlton this afternoon, lost by a 1-0. Corey Blackett-Taylor's opportune finish from the rebound midway through the second half was enough for the home side, who stay unbeaten. Coming up, you'll hear from Max Bird, you'll hear from Liam Senior shortly as well, the manager. We kick off as always with a word or two from Barks. A frustrating afternoon.
It was, but if you don't take your chances, you're not going to win the game. For 45 minutes we dominated, we dominated the ball, we had possession in the final third, we created chances and we didn't take them. I thought Charlton were extremely poor in the first 45 minutes and we just didn't make the most of that. We didn't take the chances when they came, and they were a different team second half. They got the goal, which ultimately led to them sitting that little bit deeper, waiting for the counters, and we didn't do enough in the second half to get back into it. So you have to learn from these games. You have to learn from those opportunities that are presented to you, and I think they were presented in the first 45 minutes and we just didn't take them.
You look at the stats there, and the big difference was shots on target from Derby's perspective. They led in every category apart from that, and goals of course, and we will talk about some of the major chances, but how much of this was the same old story from last season, and we didn't want to be talking about it, but Derby have the possession, they have the play, they create opportunities, but they don't turn those into real efforts on goal and goals ultimately. Well,
I saw more clear-cut opportunities, and I saw a dominance for 45 minutes that was probably beyond anything of last season. They couldn't get near us. Charlton could not understand how to work out when to press, when not to, our movement, our forward play, our forward thinking. We were so dominant, it was frightening, and you had 2 or 3 clear-cut chances. You have to make the most of them, and when you don't, you're always on a knife edge. It's always in the balance. Now, they came into the second half and they made it more difficult. They pressed. You instantly saw it after 20, 30 seconds. They pressed with real intensity, with real aggression. They flipped it and they made it very difficult for us. You can't have those opportunities and not make the most of them. Saying that, over the course of 90 minutes, we still dominated the balls. They still dominated certain areas. I think we had 12, 13 corner kicks. Again, set pieces, so important if you want to win games away from home. And it was different to last season. It's a different setup, it's a different style, it's a different group of players. But ultimately, if you don't take your chances, home or away, you ain't going to win games.
And let's get some reaction from the Valley. Here's Derby boss Liam Senior.
Liam, are you scratching your head how you lost that one? Because the chances that you created, the football that you played, deserve so much more today.
Yeah, I think you said it. I mean, it would have been tough to take had we drew the game, but to lose the game to a counter-attack when we had so much control, so much dominance and so many chances created, it's a bitter pill to swallow, to be honest with you. But there are positive signs. I think the players got a good gauge again of what this league is about. If you don't take your chances and if you don't keep the back door shut with all of your dominance, you can get punished. And we did today, and hopefully that's a lesson I've learnt, the players have learnt, and we move forward and make sure that the performance level stays the same, but we get the right result at the end of it.
Talk to me about that first 45 minutes, because you were so dominant. The chances that you created, you did everything but score.
It's really difficult for me to talk to you about, because that's the football I want to play. That's what I believe in. I think we had complete control of possession. We created numerous chances. We played some outstanding football at this level. I think Charlton didn't know what to do, but we have to score at the end of it, and that's not putting pressure on our strikers, but the amount of corners that we had, I'm expecting one of our maybe centre-halves to get their head on it, but it's something to work on and something will improve. But I think what's really pleasing for me in terms of the process of the last 4 weeks is you can see improvements all the time. That was a much better performance than against Oxford, and we beat Oxford 1-0. So that's the league. If we maintain that performance level, I think we could be in for a really exciting season.
You just need to take your chances when you're on top, though, don't you? And even in the second half, Jason Knight had that header as well. There were so many moments, and I know it's probably difficult standing here now looking at the bigger picture, but the bigger picture is you're creating chances, you're playing good football, and when you do that, results will come.
I think that's it. I think I'm always a believer in a process and performance, and when you get that right over 46 games, you will normally end up where you deserve to be. So it was one of those days for us today. As frustrating as it is, but I need the players to believe in what we do. I need the fans to see and believe in what we do and see the amount of chances we create today. Thank you for them for coming, because they came a long way on a hot day and they were absolutely absolutely magnificent. But I think you can see our identity, you can see the way that I want to play. We just need to get the ball in the back of the net.
In terms of that identity and philosophy, are you pleased with how quickly it seems to be sort of knitting together? Because we've spoken a lot about how quick pre-season was and the limited time that you had, the volume of players that have come in as well.
It's really hard for me to say how happy I am when we lose a game 1-0. I want to win games of football. So in terms of the result, no, but in terms of the performance, the understanding and the application of the players, I thought, again, they gave it their all. You know, there were times where we had so much control that I was worried that we, not complacency, but you have so much control in a game, so much dominance that you end up switching off, and we did that for the goal, and that's something that over time and with fitness again that you can overcome. But for where we are, performance level was great. As frustrating as it is, the result was not what we wanted it to be.
As you mentioned earlier, it's just got to be a learning curve.
Everything's a learning curve. We won against Oxford, that was a learning curve in the way that we work. We lose today. We play Mansfield on Tuesday, we play Barnsley at home on Saturday. If we can get 6 points from 3 games, that's the average you need for promotion. So it's not the end of the world, but I am very, very frustrated and angry at the same time that we lost the game today.
You mentioned Mansfield. In terms of what you're looking to do with the squad, is the Carabao Cup, so are you thinking changes, or are you looking to get match minutes into the players that have been playing today, or is it trying to find that balance?
I think it's finding the balance. We'll have a look. There's a few knocks. Birdie's just got ice on his ankle, and we need to make sure that the players who didn't play today are fit and ready to go as well. I want competition for places, and we lost the game today, so it's an opportunity for the lads, if they do come in, to state their claim for the shirt. You know, I thought, again, sorry, I have to say, Louis Sibley comes on, makes a fantastic impact, and he was really, really close to starting today. So that's what I want in this squad. We've still got a lot of work to do in terms of bringing a couple more bodies in, but where we're at in terms of the squad, the togetherness and the style of play that we're implementing, I'm actually quite happy, as frustrating as it is to say.
And just lastly, Lewis Dobbin came on, you got him through the door, you were desperate to get him through the door. How pleasing was it to get him out there, and you know that he's going to be playing a big part this season? He's
going to play a huge part, and again, he's someone who's been away in America. He's not had a full game, so you need to gauge his fitness. We need to build that up over the next few weeks and the next month. But I think he showed already at times his speed, his quality. He had a good chance that he tried to take early, and he's going to be a huge asset to us moving forward.
Yeah, derby debut for Lewis Dobbin today, signed on loan from Everton in the week. You had a bit of a half chance second half, Shaun. Before we look at the major moments, clearly, like us, a frustrated Manley in Rossini.
You can understand why. There's not many games this season where you're going to dominate as you did for 45 minutes of a first half, and still moments in that second half as well. He understands that it is part of a process. You are kind of still learning, you're still progressing. There's ways that you can win games, and I thought that we mixed it up really well in that first half as well. You know, in pre-season we talked about the build through the pitch, from the goalkeeper through to Birdie and up kind of through the pitch, but today we looked to go long in behind, especially on Mendes Lang's right hand side. We caused a threat every time we went forward, and some of the patterns of play and some of the movement was great to see. He'll be disappointed, of course, because really the game should have been gone at half-time. We should have taken them chances, and we should have made the most of that situation. Yeah,
first half was really good, and that was when two of the biggest chances came, both to James Collins, who's still waiting to get off the mark a couple of games into his Derby career. The second back off the post. The first is a good save from the goalkeeper. Do you think, though, he will feel as though he should have scored both?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. He's a goal scorer. He's scored goals throughout the leags. That's his strength. That's why he's in the football club. You bring him in because you haven't had a number 9 that's got you goals over the last 2 or 3 years. It's part of the piece of the puzzle's been missing, and that's why he's here. So those chances, those moments are what sets him apart. So he will 100% expect to have scored them. The first one, he took it with the outside of his right. I think he could have gone low at the near post. The second one, maybe just put a little bit too much on it when he got through 1v1, but that's what his game is. So he'll be 100% disappointed he's not got at least one out of the 2.
And the other big chance fell to Jason Knight in the second half. Gorgeous ball from Max Bird, who, whenever he got away from his marker in the second half, really put his stamp on things again. But again, it's another opportunity where Jason Knight will be thinking, how have I not scored this? Yeah,
we saw his reaction afterwards. I think he kicked the back of the net with frustration. It was a delicious ball towards the far post from Max Bird. It stayed up in the air. Maybe the time that he was completely unmarked, completely free. He actually ended up getting off the ground to head it where he probably could have let it come to his head and direct it to the far post. Another glorious chance that went begging. So, you look at the first half, were dominant. There were still moments in the second half. They were a different team, that they had more about them. They were bright on the counter-attack. But over the course of 90 minutes, there'll be a few players that felt and should feel that they could have done better in that final bit.
Yeah, Charlton were much improved after half-time. Bengala made some adjustments, and certainly in transition they looked particularly dangerous. And that was ultimately where the goal came from, wasn't it? Yeah,
well, they started the second half with more intensity, more intent to win the ball back, to not allow Derby to settle on the ball. In the first 15-20 minutes of that first half, they were so deep. The two centre-halves had time on the ball. There was space all over the pitch, and they wouldn't allow that in the second half. So all of a sudden, the game is played at a quicker pace. They started landing on second balls, which I can't remember many times in that first 45 minutes. They were only near the second balls, and they just made it a little bit more difficult for Derby. But Derby still had moments where they played through the pitch. They still got into that final third, but once they got that goal was the changer, because they sat deeper. They were happy with the ball in front of them and were waiting for those counter-attack opportunities, and that's where they looked bright. So I still think it's a transition for Charlton this season. I thought they were extremely poor in the first 45 minutes. I think they'll get better as the season goes on. Obviously, they've won the first home game, which is great for them. But for us, it's still a transition as well. We've don't be too disheartened with losing this game. The performance was there, the opportunities were there. We just didn't make the most of them.
Yeah, unbeaten start to the season for Charlton. Draw last weekend, a victory today. Derby dropped to 13th in the table for what it's worth after one win, one defeat so far. Let's get some more reaction from the Rams camp. We can hear from Max Bird.
Max, a frustrating afternoon.
Yeah, very frustrating. I think, we started so well first half, first 43 minutes we were very good, and then they sort of had a little sniff with a couple of minutes left of the first half, sort of gave them a bit of a boost going in at the break. They brought that out second half, which we were expecting, and listen, at the end of the day we just didn't take our chances today. We conceded a sloppy goal on our behalf. Our structure behind the ball, our counter-pressing positions, when we had the ball, weren't great, which led to lots of counter-attacks for them, but we've got to move on, and there's a big season ahead, long season.
It really was a game of two halves, wasn't it? Because in that first half, but for a goal, it's pretty much everything you would want to see.
Yeah, I mean, we play some real good stuff. You can see the quality we've got on the pitch. That cutting edge, we just didn't have that today, and we know we've got it in the squad. Everyone can see that we've got it. The players we've brought in, we've got a real talented bunch of lads. So, today maybe it just wasn't our day. We couldn't get the ball in the back of the net, but on another day we're 3-0 up at half time. But that's on us. That's on us. We have to change that, and we have to keep working on that on the training pitch and bring it into the next couple of games.
Like you say, on another day it could have been anything come half time. I think we created more chances today than we have any pre-season game or last week, so that must be what makes it extra frustrating, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. We're devastated in there. The lads are. The gaffer's just come in and hasn't really had to say much because we've spoke about it already as a team. We're all devastated. We know that we didn't have that cutting edge, but we were sloppy in some parts of our game defensively. Our counter-pressing positions, like I say, structure behind the ball. But it's something we have to look back on. We've got a long season ahead of us. We have to keep our heads and keep going. In my opinion, we're expected to win every game. We should aim to win every game, no matter who we're playing in this division. You can see the talent and the quality we've got on the pitch, so we have to have that ambition.
As you say, it is a long season. It is only 2 games down. There's a long way to go and put it right, and this squad's only been together for a matter of weeks, so you can't be too down on things despite the result today.
Yeah, I think it's just because the mentality in the changing room, we're winners. There's a lot of talented young boys, and obviously the experienced lads as well have come in and they've won many games of football. We're all winners in there, and at the end of the day we've lost the game of football, so we're devastated, but we have to move on from that. We have to put it behind us and go again.
I just say we do have to move on. There's another game Tuesday night and straight back to it.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably a good thing that football comes around like this. We've got another game Tuesday, and then it's relentless from then onwards. It's a good thing on our behalf that we can just keep playing football and keep working on how we play and trying to win games.
Just a word on those travelling fans. Excellent once again today.
Yeah, unbelievable. I don't really have to say much. They know. Everyone knows at the club how important they are to us and how brilliant they've been all season. And you can see at the end of the game, we're all devastated, they're devastated, but they're stuck behind, clapped us off the pitch, and you know, hopefully they can stay behind us, because we believe that we can do special things with this group, and I hope they believe as well.
And there is Max Bird. Results from League One this afternoon. Derby's opponents next weekend at Barnsley with a win over Charlton. Bolton beat Wycombe by 3-0. An even bigger victory for Bristol Rovers away at Burton Albion. And the home side had a man sent off after just a minute at the Pirelli Stadium. Exeter hit 4 as well past Port Vale, who had been looking to make it 2 wins out of 2. A defeat for another side looking to make it 2 out of 2. Plymouth, who lost 2-1 at Fleetwood Town this afternoon. Victory for Sheffield Wednesday away at MK Dons. And Peterborough United are the only side to have won their opening 2 league fixtures this season. A 3-0 win for them over Morecambe. Posh will certainly score plenty of goals this season. And that's all from us for now. If you want more reaction, it'll be on the website for you, dcfc.co.uk. From me, Box, and the team, bye-bye.